do on their T side though, as they're going to take the first duel up against Salodo. Going to butcher some pronunciations here, that's for sure. Delmo next in line here as the advance continues up on towards this site. Vertigo, I think, well, name a more iconic duo, Vertigo and Ramp. It really is just the storyline of this map, isn't it? Complete ramp abuse. And it kind of goes both sites as well. Both sites have those kind of key ramp entryways. One's a stairwell, one's literally a bunch of wooden boarding, but it's all still the same. You have to push up into the site. This is where we see all these key fights come through. As North just lick the stamp and send it through the smoke. Cajun B showing us a bit of classic class there as they just mow their way through the CT side. North making that look simple.
Well, that was dominant and decimating. Saw absolutely had no idea that that was on the game plan and the agenda for North. Right through that smoke, getting up close and personal, using those Glocks, yeah, nice and near to find all of those headshots, and very easily done. Saw now going for the force buy in this second. You see Stad not going to be picking up as much of an investment, of course, wanting that AWP out early, perhaps in round number 4 here. Just a Deagle with no body armor for him, whereas his teammates, it's all of the Deegs, Flakes. Not one Deeg, not 2, but 5 Deegs.
Yeah, they're really hoping to see if they can grab a headshot or 2 here. This defense, and Vertigo is a great map for it. There are lots of angles you can use to your advantage here on the pushes. Well, you see just that, just there to get the double kill. Metro just start to trade things back as he reaches for more. MSL sneaks in to try and grab the bomb, and from there it will be, I would imagine, a quick North retreat over to the other side of the map.
This is certainly where North need to go to plan B. That obviously didn't work out just there. 1-0 wanting to keep the scoreline rolling. And there is a fairly null and void defense over towards this A bomb site. So the AK-47s still should be able to do the heavy lifting. Of course, Stad's going to get the initial information with that Deagle. Can he find a shot? That's the big question mark here. Wanting to negotiate his way over and above this smoke. And North might actually just walk into it. Gade wants another frag before he gets started. Doubles things through. There goes the C4 down on this A bomb site. And back onto the safety of that ramp where they can clean away the rest of these pistols. No more damage for Saw. Arky's just going to fall away with his Deagle investment. Of course, he's got the Kevlar behind him. The only saving grace. He doesn't want to just pointlessly throw away this investment. And considering there is an AK up for grabs on this A-bomb site, or this B-bomb site, I should say, he can fall down into the stairs, allow North onto this second round, and use this single rifle, drop the Deagle to perhaps Roman just. And then they've got 2 purchases for the price of 1.
Not all bad at all, but that said, 2 kills with the Deagle, you're finding great value there. The problem is by not rotating and having any defense over on that A site, once those rifles get in position, that bomb goes down, it is very easy for them to pull back and just play the distance game where those rifles can pick you down very easily. So can't help but feel like Saw had an opportunity there to really do some more damage, especially given the double kill that was found early on in the round.
I think they were too scared about being faked and rotated out from North, expecting the stubborn Danish side to just come hurtling onto the B-bomb site, use that safety, maybe not in numbers, but in weaponry, to just clamber over the top and find those picks. This time, Flakes, they do have a bit of a stack over towards A, but without the rifles to use and utilize, leaving, well, Arky has actually joined the mix here. All 5 players to meet North. This could get messy. Gade has no idea that he's about to peek into a corner with 5 players at the ready. These AKs just chewing the pistols up and away. The AK on Saw getting nothing done. That's 3-0 to North. Maybe what we would have expected, considering that was a fairly full eco. But this is the round that really matters. The AWP come through for Stad. 4 lots of M4A4s as well. A fairly full buy here for the CTs.
I think the most important thing about the full buy here for me is actually going to be the utility of the CT side. What can they do to delay North's aggressive tendencies? Because right now, North's T side has basically been built off the premise of them just rushing through, forcing frags, and really just taking Angels. Just seeing it here again. I mean, look at this. They are literally holding W and chasing down Angels here. Oh. And it works. It actually works. Point blank. Shots in the face. Didn't even get a chance to react. Roman next in line to fall as well. This is a bloodbath. And there's no utility to slow them down. That's what I mean. Where's the Molotovs? Where are the smokes, the flashes? There's nothing there to really deny North from just making these aggressive rush plays. And that's what's going to haunt this Source side. Now we're looking at Stad trying to survive with an AWP against 5 players. And unfortunately, it's just not happened to be.
And you can see the mindset of North. MSL there had the opportunity to pick up the AWP. He doesn't want it. They want the fast run and gun style for this T side, needing to keep things at quite a heavy pace, catch Saw off guard. You could see that Mutris there over by mid was completely outmaneuvered. He gets flashed, instantaneously wants to fall back, and North chases him away for that opening frag. Nice, easy, simple stuff from the Danes, able to find their 4th. That's the opening gun round down the toilet for Saw. And now what do they do with a pretty null and void buy? I guess they pick up a couple of Deagles, maybe a set of Kevlar here and there for the CT defense. I want to see them keep alive as much economy as possible to go for full sets of utility in the upcoming 6th. And I guess they'll be able to do exactly that. Remember, it's max loss bonus as of this point, Flakes. So they can pretty much pick up as much as they want. We'll see Staddy will be on, I guess, over the $6,000 mark going into the next. Everybody else lingering around the $5,000 mark. That's if they don't take a couple of kills right here, which is definitely a possibility with the pistols in armor. This is pretty relentless pace, though, from North. Straight up ramp. They might not be running and gunning this time, but pressuring these smokes. As they dissipate, Roman needs to throw one more down. That's pretty much the smokes gone for the A-site defense. Aki might have one more in hand, but, well, he's a million miles away, just holding upon mid. And North are just knocking on the door of this A-bomb site. Let me in.
Or maybe catch anyone off here. The answer so far is nope, not today. This is the thing, though. It's just a case now of when the North decided to go again, right? We've seen it all day long so far. They finally make their push. That's where those rifles just charge in and have the all-out brawl. It's pretty scrappy, but in the end, it's still a North round typically. Just again with a double 1-deags, though. And that changes things now. It puts Gade in a 1v2. And no longer in the land of comfort. 30 seconds to work with. He has choices to make on how he wants to approach this, and it looks like he's going to take the fight up against Just here, and that becomes an easy duel for him, just catching him off guard. As we go back to the 1v1, Arky. This is Gade, spots him, damage done, 44 HP remains, repeat comes through, and Gade makes the 1v2 stick. The brawlers of North right now, the Danish side, they clatter through this Portuguese team, going 5-0 so far on their T side of Vertigo.
That was such a big opportunity for Saw. They had the full stack in full effect, and North just walking right into the double deagles at every account. Still able to take it over the top with the 1 versus 2. Gade just isolating those pair of CTs right there. Not playing the safety and numbers advantage. You can't help but think that if that AK just reverses back into the A bomb site and they play just that angle both together, considering they were both on that A site, gets incredibly messy, and somehow Gade's able to come out on top in a round that Saw definitely had their chances in. Scary. These smokes being placed incredibly early. North still up towards the top of ramp. This is the classic fight here on Vertigo. The big question mark is how aggressive do you realistically want to get on that CT side? Sometimes, especially with the double AWP setup, you can afford to allow one of those snipers to go rummaging for that opening. But Stad playing a very back and passive angle. They want to force North into the triple conversion once again. Yes, they've got Roman up close and personal, but North are playing anti-flash right now. A flashbang right over the top is going to do absolutely nothing. And without anybody peeking off the back of that, it's almost wasted utility.
So he's he's going to take a swing as well. Gets punished by Roman, who's on an absolute tear right now. Staff finds get another kill on Letcro. It's starting to feel like something a little bit more put together from the Source side right now. Only Cajun B and Gade remain. It's a 2v5. That's not ideal, Squid. That's not the situation we want to be seeing. Cajun B just gets away as well as he's tapping down Stab. Thankfully, it will be a kill found at the end. And in fact, he finds both. But without Stab there stepping up and hitting a few supreme shots with the AWP, we're potentially looking at another North round there. A clutch for Gade. It's a little bit of an odd one.
And considering that was a 5 versus 2, Saw doing a really bad job at containing those North members, just allowing just pressure through the middle of the map. And I guess North are going to go to different options here, probably not going to contest ramp here. Okay, maybe they do. I don't think it's... I think it's actually pretty difficult to shake the confidence of North, especially in a series like this. I think Saw have to take 4 or 5 in a row to really force North into different lines. And with Stad hitting seemingly every single shot, finally falls apart on the third. And that gives North an open door back into the A bomb site. I don't know if they will go for it, considering there is a double defense still posted. The option is outwards on the table for Cajun B to actually figure out what the defense looks like over towards B. And North can go back to secondary options, considering they have a whole minute on the board.
Well, the other thing is it's so nice on Vertigo how quickly you can on your T side go from A to B. It's a very quick rotation. So they have full flexibility here to hit the B side. It doesn't really seem like it's sticking. They should go back towards A right now. That's why they have their forces split here. And if anything, that little fake play has just baited just out. All his attention now is completely gone. The cross to the site is coming through. And now he's left with an AWP trying to make an impossible angle work. I have to say, credit to what I believe was actually AZ from the Cajun B, sorry, on the other side of the site. That was really nice to see.
And now, Arky, this is a pretty impossible scenario. Easy, it's just one bullet required to take him away and secure 6 on the board. And North are looking very convincing here on this T side. We usually expect the terrorist forces to maybe take 8 rounds, 9 if you're feeling really hot on a map like Vertigo. But 6-1 is a very swift start. Remember, if you're sat there at home, maybe having a boring day, you can go over to Hellcase right now. Use those little coupon codes on your screen for a little refill bonus. It's Malta V15. I'm just about learning it. After 10 weeks of tournaments, I've been calling it Malta AV15, but it's not, Flakes. It's not.
Get Malta AV from.
I don't know. I was convinced that production were just messing with me and changing the coupon code every day, but then somebody reminded me that they weren't.
Just can't read, my friend. It's
pretty true.
Unfortunate situation, but well, 6-1. North looking to continue the plow here. Or only able to wield pistols in this one, but at least they are backed by Kevlar, so not an impossible round, but definitely one that is going to be slim pickings. Letcro in to make some noise here, and he's pretty much hoping to put all those rotations through, take all of the fights here himself, and meanwhile his team, they basically get a gift ranked B site.
Little bow on top.
Look at the confidence of Letcro. Yeah. He doesn't even take the safe route, just rotates into B. He actually doubles back to stay silent and try and go for even more. That's the confidence of this North side right now. Is a 3v3 on paper, yes, but with that bomb being down, this cannot be a retake here from Saw. I would imagine what they'll do is grab the scraps that they can and save it forward to the next round.
Yeah, there might be another rifle dropped. I'm unsure if it was over towards the B side of things. I can see that they have grabbed hold of one AK-47. That was from Letcro. I guess to add insult to injury there, he was literally with 7 bullets in the barrel, just gunning in for even more. I do like that the Deagle tries to take the fight and steal another AK away, considering Saw can go for a buy here in this 9th. This is 7-1 right now. North, they're starting to look really ferocious to get things started in this best of one. That's the second tactical pause that we've seen from Saw. Not really running out. You get 4 in a map like this. But chewing through half of them nice and early on, obviously showing that they're under pressure in this opening matchup.
What can you do here in a best of one like this? We're at 7-1 already. I mean, what really is the game plan?
You can win rounds. You can start hitting shots. I'm not sure. It's quite difficult, isn't it, really?
That's the tough
You're
thing.
playing against North.
I have to give credit to Stad. He has been hitting everything with that orb. Doesn't really help too much, does it, unfortunately?
And as a result, Flakes, they've taken Stad off of the AWP. I don't know if that's the change-up that we were looking for.
Yeah, that's not quite what I was aiming for. Yeah, no, you've taken your most impactful player. Squid, I'm not sure about that one. Not sure about that one. I don't know if that's frustration from Stan saying, just give me a rifle, I'll get in their faces and I'll get it done. Because he was the aggressor there. I'm not sure. That's a really odd decision. Stad was a beast with the orb.
It's basically the equivalent of tying Usain Bolt's legs together before he does the 100 meters and saying, right, have a go at it now.
I'm really surprised by that, but let's see if Arky can show us what he's made of here as Letcrope takes a bit of a dogfight against Muturis, neither of which will secure the kill in the end. Like it is going to be just Saw ready and waiting for North to make this crunch towards this A site, seemingly very aware. And that is going to be a decision. Muturis takes a swing and is immediately executed. As Gade and Letcro make it look easy. Arky's good for 1, but that will be all. North continue to run forward here, and I have to say, you've completely disarmed the raid boss right now, Saw. I need to see Stad back on that orb. If there's going to be any faith in this CT side, it's just... I'm going to start a petition. Stad for orb 2020.
Well, they've already listened to you. Petition successful. He's back on it.
I have nothing against Arky. I'm sure he's a great person, but Stad was sick with the orb. Let him do the work. He was there. He was landing these shots. So I want to see more of that action, and hopefully now we'll get an opportunity to do just that. Stad going glass cannon, of course. Just a smoke and a flashbang to his name as well.
I love your response as well. Just like an easy breakup. I'm sure that you're a lovely guy. I don't want to
it's
give
not
him
you.
the AWP.
It's just me.
It's the Bachelor, the whole Rose action.
Oh, that is disgusting as well. I don't know who that was, but someone fell off the stairs and just was trying to shoot him, so he didn't catch the first player. His crosshair followed him as he fell off the stairs.
I wonder if that is a bait and switch play, considering that wooden plank is a very common angle for the CT side first member to be posted within. If you do have a double B defense, you're almost always going to be playing somebody aggressive, or the other passive. And considering Stad's ult was a million miles away, North might even double back into the B bomb site. Roman trying to get aggressive to find any preliminary information. But wants to go for this peek on AZ. He's already been spotted. And there goes the B site, perhaps. Arky, he's here just in time. They both drop. And another 1 versus 2, this time for Mutris. I really can't see this one happening, considering the team play and coordination has been flawless for North. They don't even need to plant that bomb, Flakes. Just AZ taking peek after peek. 4 quick kills. He's up to 17 right now, just topping the server.
Yeah, I mean, it just, there's nothing left to really say. AZ's being a beast. It's Letcro stepping up as well, creating opportunities for his team time and time again here with these fake plays and these entry frags. North are just, they're just running through Saw right now. They are making this one look easy. 9-1, T side Vertigo. Say no more.
Easy stuff. Definitely setting up the storyline for that best of 3 later today versus Sprite. Let's see. Once again, back into their fan favorite, this A-bomb site. The AK-47's going to work once again. We talked about the firepower disparity earlier on Nuke, but this looks even more one-sided. 9-1, possibly even double digits here for the Danes. A very convincing performance against the scrappy buy from Saw. Puts North significantly ahead. They have 10 times the number of rounds Saw has right now. Big stuff.
Yeah, I think the million-dollar question now becomes just how much can North do here? How many rounds are they going to be able to get? Is this going to be a 14-1, 13-2? Kind of where do we draw the line here for North? That's now what I'm trying to figure out, because we haven't really seen any sign of response here. Stab trying to go for a bit of a creative warp peak, but unfortunately he doesn't land.
Well, here come the AKs one more time. A nice stack once again. And Stad does have that AWP. He's playing in the back lines right now. Needs to be hyper effective in these last 4 rounds if Sora even going to scramble together an acceptable CT side. Yes, they've got all the building blocks in place to shut away this push, but do they have the firepower? That's the big question. The utility almost running to an absolute minimum. Only 1 smoke left for the CTs. That's on Arky. I'm sure it'll be thrown fairly soon. They might even decide to release it right here and now. There's an aggressive peek from Roman. Quite a nicely coordinated dive from Saw. Takes 3 for the price of 2. And now North forced onto the back foot.
What we like to see, smokes do come through from North though as they begin to set up effectively what is a retake onto the site here, but Stab wants nothing of it. The smoke not quite just getting his vision. He just peeps on down, takes down one, now looks for a second as well. Occasion B tries to pull off this 1 versus 3.
There goes that nade. It's going to be null and void. They're not even checking Occasion B. That's a big mistake to make. I feel like that was a bit of faulty communication from Saw and gives himself a way back into this one with 3 seconds left. He goes for another fake plant with Stad rushing away. There's 0 chance Occasion B can win the round. I'd have loved to see him try and plant the bomb there, but it's a bit of a double-edged sword. If he plants it, I guess he's getting rushed all the way down and away. But 1 mistake from Saw there definitely gives him a way back into that one. It's just a shame that he's so low on time and can't maneuver his way into a better position. 10-2. Nothing to shout and scream about for Saw thus far. Yes, if they can get themselves onto 5 rounds, then there's perhaps a chance on their T side. But considering what we've seen so far, I think that 5 is quite a stretch for Saw.
Yeah, that's the thing, is 10-5 is possible, yes, mathematically, but actually, when you look at the game, is it possible? Probably not. We've seen North be incredibly strong so far. Yes, Saw has started to step up. They started to find some early success here, but it's only 1 round with the grand scheme of things. We need to see more from them before I'm going to get up on the pedestal and start cheering their name. Muterus with a great triple kill here, if not potential for more. Finds 4 frags all in all, leaving MSL on 4 HP as well. That could have been an ace play from Uterus. That's what we want to be seeing if a 10-5 is going to happen.
Absolutely. They need more than just Stad stepping up. Yes, he's on 11 frags, and as we open this scoreboard once again, you can see that most players on this CT side stuck below double digits. Muterus, funnily enough, is still below double digits despite those 4 frags. It just shows the disparity on the scoreboard with, yeah, only Stad putting up any impressive numbers, but still not matching the likes of Lecro and AZ on this terrorist half, and actually North taking a tactical pause. They obviously feel flakes that 10 isn't good enough. They want a couple more before this one's done and dusted, knowing that this is a fairly terrorist-sided map as well. Are you feeling like 10 is a tiny bit light? Or maybe somebody wanted to grab a glass of water. You never know.
Only time will tell, I suppose. I still feel like North 12-3 here is still going to be the goal for them. They just want to get this one done now. Avoid any more rounds slipping through. Obviously, you can't help the fact that Muterus has just basically got what was going to be a quad kill. Now, maybe we'll see some Deagle shenanigans. Who knows?
Yeah, funny. Almost seemed like North were not just winning round after round, but in very dominant fashion. I'm almost surprised to see them ecoing at any point this map. I think perhaps they took the tactical timeout to discuss, do we just want to force into this one and try and run and gun the issue, with Lecro finding that opening shot. That's Roman eliminated. And now the defense is down to Stad. Yes, he's got this back and passive angle once again, but not many reinforcements, considering Saw quite classically have been playing either 4 or 5 players towards this A-bomb site. This time Muterus just stood away out in the open, waiting for that smoke to dissipate and fade. He does have the supportive factor of that AWP and getting very aggressive right now. Easy to take him out cleanly away, but it's Stad to step up. Yes, that bomb will go down in this site, giving North a little bit of extra cash. And now the Deagles need to pitch through. Cajun B gets aggressive, finally taken away. But these final 3 players don't have 100 HP between them. And surely Saw should take this to a 4th. Let's see what MSL's Deagle can do. That's a lovely one tap. And as the smoke goes down on this A bomb site, it feels like Saw are getting a little bit flustered right now. Yes, the defuse is coming through. Knife is out. They cannot find it before that defuse comes in. That is our 4th, a breath of fresh air for Saw. But how many more can they take?
That is an insane attempt from North, though. Putting in the work with the Deagles. That is what you want to see right there. MSL desperately trying to land a couple more as well. Lines up the first one, because they even peek around the box. That said, not to be today. It will be a 4th in play for the Portuguese side. So moving up here, 10-4 now as they look for that fated 5th. So close to finding it as well now. Something we said was impossible. They're now delivering. 80 down to 13 HP. This has been a great stint of life here on this tour side.
It absolutely has. A bit of a recovery, I might add, on this counter-terrorist half. Looking like we might resort back to a 10-5 scoreline. I really don't know if that's good enough, considering North have a fairly decent CT half, and it's that firepower which I think above and beyond what they're able to put together on the CT half is going to push them over the top. 10-4, 10 rounds is more than good enough here. Still the opportunity for number 11 before things get done and dusted. They're just sitting away on ramp. North rinsing and repeating that tactic. I'm surprised that we didn't see them go towards mid a couple more times. It was hyper effective. Maybe just wanting to practice this ramp progression.
It has worked out for them. Not recently, but generally if you look across this entire half, the ramp progression has been really the story of the game. But more recently, we have seen the likes of Muterus step up and really crack that aggression, finding those trade kills. Necro going to get up and aggressive here this time around. Finds not only one, but a chance at a second. Just going to go flying on through. The runs out of bullets. That's unfortunate for Arky. And I think that is going to be where this one ends. Muterus, though, finds a surprise frag on Lecro from behind. That makes it a heads-up one-on-one.
Takes the taps, knows exactly where MSL is playing from, but with, well, the defuse kit has been picked up. Means that there's no time pressure to defuse this bomb. Nicely taking the 5th, and we were talking like 10-5 is almost an impossibility for Saw. And to be honest, after the first 10 to 12 rounds, that looked exactly the case. You'd have maybe even had to get the calculator out to get them to 5. They've done it. Ooh, those odds are not pretty, Flakes. They're not pretty at all.
Yeah, of course, folks. If you do want to take advantage of those odds, you can head on over to loot.bet. Take full advantage of the 6.2 for North right now.
Can't say that I disagree with those odds, to be perfectly honest. Going to be really hard for Saw to claw this scoreline back and away. And as they fall into mid, there is a little bit of a triple stack for North. Yes, they've just got the two players watching and waiting. Gade has joined the party from afar, just isolating things over by the A bomb site. This looks like a really solid read. If AZ even finds one shot and is able to backtrack here, this can all fall apart. There's a quick kill with the Glock. And that makes things a little more complicated for North. Yes, their defense is already in place. And with Arky chipping in for even more damage onto Lekro, this gets a lot more difficult for North. All of the kills coming through. This might be finally a pistol round for Saw, as Gade needs to do it all. A 1 versus 5. Yes, he's got the kit in hand, but this is practically impossible, especially with Stad on the rampage on this A-bomb site. That's a 6th for Saw. 5 in a row.
They really are starting to keep it rolling now, aren't they? This Portuguese side stepping up into this best of 1. 6 in a row, a pistol round as well. Dare I say, we might just have a game on our hands after all.
Well, North going for this force buy here. They'll be forced to eco if they do lose this 17th. That'll allow Saw to get onto 7 rounds and 8 rounds, and that's not really too bad of a scoreline on this T side. If they find a couple of early rifle rounds here, then they can easily claw this scoreline back and away, but they have to deal with these pistols first. And with this mid configuration in full place, it's going to be incredibly difficult for the Galil to be hyper effective, especially with Gade in such a precarious angle. I feel like Mutros is going to be concentrating elsewhere, and North actually dismount. They disband, they're backing off. And that is actually a big mistake. If they stuck around for maybe 5 more seconds there, they probably find both of these opening kills. Instead, the pincer for Saw, I think they have pretty much a full rip around of this B bomb site with Lekro just stood out in the open. This starts to get, really difficult. 1 foot spotted, and Lekro is going to backtrack, but into the waiting arms of these rifles. Easy clearance of the pistols early. And North, I think, just got a little bit unlucky there with the timings.
Not going to work out. I think with that bomb down, that pretty much seals fate as well. I don't really see Cajun B or Gade being able to do too much here, so I guess they have the Kevlar to save actually, so they can decide to carry that forward to the next round, at least give themselves something to fight with rather than just what will probably be a handful of USPs and whatnot. That said, that does put 7 rounds into play here for this Portuguese side, Squid, and I think really gets them one step closer to actually genuinely competing for this best of 1, which is something that I just thought was frankly impossible. This is also where you want to see a pause from North, I think. We want to see attack balls come out sooner rather than later because something's clearly got awry. Their aggressive tendencies have started to fall away. The shots are not starting to land now, and it's just generally that the play style they've opted for in this game is no longer working. So now you need to call attack pause, discuss how you're going to fix that, and then move forward.
Yeah, absolutely so. It's round number 18. It's not too early to reconvene and configure your options once again, especially against this rifle setup where Saw are realistically finding a lot of success. That loss bonus finally does build up to the point where North can actually go for a full investment in the next round. And they don't have a null and void investment in this 18th. A couple of pistols in hand, the double deagle. Nice little cinematic angle to get us started. Let's see if Gade can cause some action here. Saw's timing does seem very good towards the middle of the map, albeit. Not walking into these stacks.
patient play here from Saw, to be honest. They know they're up against just a handful of pistol squid, so they just take it easy. They don't rush things, and it's working out so well for them now. Again, this calculated play up on towards A-bomb goes down as well, and it's just very simple.
A fair chunk of damage, but not really too much to rant and rave about. As Gade, he's going to try and chip in for a third, maybe at best case scenario. He steals away an AK-47 sooner or later, right over the top. Does spot out another, but unable to hit the headshots. He's probably going to go up in flames along with his C4, and Roman does take him to task. So 3 AKs retrieved for Saw. Nicely building that bank up at this point. Not really a tremendous amount of damage dealt from North thus far, but this is their opportunity. Rifles finally in hand. MSL, yes, he's got the AWP back in action. The first time that we've actually seen this from North, this map. And going on to the CT side, you do need that sniper rifle presence. We saw that from Stad on their T side. Absolutely viable towards the A-bomb site, especially even towards B if you're peering down that staircase, which is exactly the ploy that MSL is popping in for. Actually do like this setup for North. Lots of mid control, rifles at the ready. It's a beautiful flashbang, and then the response from Cajun B, almost playing an anti-flash position there, knowing that, of course, if AZ does get blinded, he can be the saving grace.
Now going to be the next span under pressure here. Tested towards this A site as the push begins to formulate. Stad and Co all lined up. Curious to see what they'll be able to accomplish here as the utility let rip as well. It's Molotov flashes to follow. Stad is the man to lead the charge. With the smoke down, North can't do a thing here. It's a free plant for the Portuguese side. They're going to have to play out the 5v4 retake. That's what you like to see, though. MSL peering down from above with the AWP, snipes down for another crag, and that leaves a 5-on-3 now. The entire Portuguese side wrap themselves in towards ramp and wait for North to come charging their way.
Dane's taking this one nice and slowly as well. You see Saw just stuck on ramp. Expect the smoke to come through for North, maybe even a wall of smokes to counter this ramp position. The bomb is planted very out in the open, and the coverage is absolutely flawless. 3 for 3 for North to put them onto round number 11. Just that firepower chipping and chiming through. Not scared of letting that bomb tick down to the 10-15 second mark. Diving on that defuse. The smokes were absolutely everywhere. Saw can't get any visual inside. And realistically, if you're sat on ramp as the T side, you don't need to be taking the open peak. Instead, just prevent that bomb from being defused. That puts North in a real sticky spot. It just doesn't come through. You allow MSL's AWP to fire on all cylinders. Those AK-47s on the CT sides now with an open opportunity to rattle you away. And North, they're about, well, they're 5 away from closing away this best of 1.
The other beautiful thing about that play is that for North, you're totally bang on. It's all about stopping them from defusing. That's why they jumped on the bomb. You jumped on the bomb, and then they've peeked into you. You got 3 players there shooting down at them, basically saying, look at me, I'm a human distraction. It works out so well. So even taking a few losses still ensures that diffuser is left unscathed.
It's unfortunate. It is like the worst sleight of hand in the whole world. The magician who waves a big towel in front of your face before putting the coin behind your ear. I'm surprised that Saw don't just, gun for that diffuser.
Eleven to 8 now, though. Getting closer to do or die time for this Portuguese side as they're going to make their push towards the B site this time around. And unfortunately for them, there are 4 counter-terrorists here ready and waiting. It's point-blank execution, Squid. This is a disaster of a round. Stad and Just, last 2 men standing, and a singular kill is all that will be found for the terrorist side today as they drop like flies.
Yeah, Cajun B is an absolute turret right there. Should never be able to get away with 3 frags, especially with the flashes just pitching in from above. 12 to 8. And North starting to wake up once again. Look at how blind Cajun B is. Not just once, but twice. Forced into the open by the Molotovs, and nobody can take advantage. Look at Saw just moving into his crosshair one by one by one. The opportunity for a quad kill as well. Just falling at the final hurdle. Nonetheless, it's 12 for North. They've got plenty of money bolstering this economy at this point. Yes, Cajun B and Gade are stuck just below the $1,000 mark, but a convincing round here would put them firmly on the home straight once again. And the All-Pay-K combination is just doing all of the heavy lifting on ramp. There's just no chance for these pistols here. Only 1 and 2 kills found, so some acceptable damage dealt. But it's still North onto 13. They've got all of the money to play with. And the ball's in their court.
This is tough, though, when you look at the scoreline. Yes, they might have all the money in the world now to make a purchase happen, but at the end of the day, it's still 13-8 Squid. You're still getting dangerously close to being able to get this game done for North right now.
As soon as push has come to shove and we've got into the rifle round opportunities, North have looked very convincing. And you know what, Flakes? My 16-9 prediction might be coming true. Where's the crystal ball?
That's the first time.
Where did I put it?
A screw prediction coming true in 2020. Who would have thought it?
This never happens. I actually can't remember the last prediction I got right.
This reminds me of my horse betting adventures at the weekend. Thought I'd bet on the races. My first 3 bets. The first horse didn't even get to the start of the race. Didn't want to do it. Second
didn't even
horse
get to the start of the race.
Didn't even get to the start. The second horse, the jockey fell off in the first 10 seconds. I thought, you know what? It's about as sums up my luck, doesn't it? It really does. Interest though. He's starting to show a bit of force. Cajun B easy. Will chime back in to make it a 2v3 though, so looking possible ultimately for North to retake here as they continue to rattle away through the smokes. We see a reposition come through as Roman gets aggressive. You might actually just spot Cajun B easy soon. That smoke will fade. It's going to be just a matter of time. If he falls here, that's going to be very unfortunate. So needs to be careful. It's actually, they're going to go for the boost. I actually kind of like that. Really work out for Roman, unfortunately. That's where the push really starts to come through now. Stab. Good for 1. And Just will clean things up in the end. It all works out. Portuguese side progress. That 13-9 comes on around.
There should certainly be another buy for North, I guess. Cajun B and AZ, I guess Gade as well, stuck without a significant economy. And there's the tactical timeout that you were asking for earlier. I feel like North usually use these tacks to decipher what the buy is going to look like. I guess this will be the full investment. MSL has more than enough money for his trusty AWP. Could even drop away a rifle if needed. Instead, I think this is going to be a 3 rifle, 2 SMG setup. Soon to tell. Well, there it is. The AWP. The 2 M4A4s along with a pair of MP9s.
See how this works. Cool's North. I think they had to buy there. When you've got the bank of MSL and Electro and your players at around 3k, you could definitely make something like this work. Obviously, a bunch of SMGs will prompt aggression, I'd imagine. No surprise, this is North watching after all. Look at the SMGs go, holding mouse 1. They are just going to completely charge them down, and the damage has been done, hasn't it? Look at them go. Gade finally falls, but at least Stad on 5 HP, Arky on 21 HP. Mutris is the only man with more than 50 health in the server right now for this T side. That has to be a disaster of a start here. Oh, this could hurt as well. You have to be so careful spraying through smokes in that position because the traces are only a small corridor.
It's actually a bit of an awkward one-way smoke from T side. And Lecro 7 HP to the rear of this A-bomb site. Yes, he's got Cajun B as support, but there's another smoke placed. Necro has a really weird tendency to just keep 3 or 4 bullets in the barrel. This time he's going to get blasted out of action. And as that bomb does go down and away, this is going to be a slightly difficult retake for North. They've got the AWP in play here for MSL. I don't know if he's going to get rid of that or even play with the pistol, considering all 3 of these players are low. But I don't know how much North know here. Do they know that all 3 players have tiny HP? Instead, no, the AWP fails to come through. The M4 needs to get the job done. Instead, the defuse tapped. Bet forced into the open, and Mutris able to find the first, and this is so awkward. Falling away, pistol out, and North, they're going to concede another one. Saw up to 10, and that was a very messy round. Forces North, I think, back into eco territory.
Yeah, I think messy really is the understatement there, to be honest. That was North looking all over the place. A very wishy-washy retake there. And really what it boiled down to was just a lack of direction. They had no game plan of how they were going to go about it. And therefore, you could see they were making a lot of off-the-cuff decisions. And that just doesn't work in Counter-Strike. You need to be able to have a game plan going in and then adapt to that game plan as you're going through. But simply just winging it and make a decision on the fly. Don't get me wrong, if you're a team playing very aggressively against a weaker team, it can work. But a majority of the time, playing with a little bit more of a structure really will pay dividends there. And unfortunately, they completely lack that.
Do you like this boost? It's a bit of a different angle from Cajun B. Usually you would boost up on this left side, and maybe the Molotov will force him out of place. No, it's not enough. Instead, Roman, he is actually checking for this one. Finally spots out ahead and unable to shoot it off. But here comes the aggression once again from Saw, all the way into A. All 3 frags found, and there are the smokes just to guarantee the round. Minute left and nothing that North can do.
Fortunate situation here for North. The lack of the money really going to haunt them, I feel. But all they can really do is sit tight and wait for those guns to come back on around, wait for that money to hit their bank, and from there look to close it out. This is a lot closer a game though than what I feel it really should have been, to be honest. Credit to Saw for pushing North right to the line here.
Absolutely, and just shows why those last 4 rounds of their CT side was so impactful. This game would already be over if North had taken this to a 12-3 or 13-2 first half. Saw just about doing enough to make this second side competitive. And doing so with all of the rifles. We haven't really seen Stad utilizing that AWP on the T side whatsoever. He's picked it up quite a few times on the defensive half. And on Vertigo, I feel like that is pretty common, to be perfectly honest. Not really playing with that sniper to aggress. Sometimes you would force an AWP towards the A side of things, but this time just getting the work done with a couple of AK-47s and that retrieved M4A4 for him. Already mid-control, and there's the opening frag. Maybe even a second as Cajun B is forced into a really dodgy angle. Lucky to even trade 1-for-1 there. Bomb goes down again, and North handed a head-scratcher.
I'm not really sure there is much North can actually do here apart from save, to be honest. They just have to immediately prioritize keeping that weaponry, because otherwise they will let the scoreline run out of control. And the problem they've got here, Squid, ultimately is they don't have rounds to play with anymore. This will put Saw to 12 rounds on the board. That's around the difference between these two teams. Cast your mind back to earlier on in this game, and we were talking about the fact that North had 10 times the rounds of Saw. It was 10-1, of course, at that point.
Yeah, what a change of pace. Saw definitely look like they're in control of this best of one. And now let's see if they can come closer to closing this one out. North, again, it's shaky economy. They might just go into this 26th with an AWP and an M4 in hand and not much else. Just a couple of pistols here and there. An opportunity for Saw to close the gap, 13-13. Then on this T side, you've got to say that they've got the advantage on paper. as North haven't been playing their best CS. There's an opportunity. Cajun B chips and chimes in, an AK retrieved, and the AWP's able to find a second shot. This is falling apart, Flakes. They're walking into the scope of MSL as he's able to snipe away too, and now Saw back on the back foot as they want to rummage back into the A bomb site.
So I think that really interesting because you do just still have a bunch of pistols in play for the most part, but there's been enough of an advantage forced by MSL where they legitimately could trade their way to success here. They just have to be careful not to give up easy pickings. Don't allow someone like Lekro just to fall like a fly, being swatted out of the air, because at that point you get into clutch territory and it gets a lot more sketchier when, you know, this rifle, for example, has no armor behind it. Cajun B is a glass cannon AK-47, I guess, as it were. So really dangerous round here for North, but one they can make work, providing they position and play this one correctly.
Unfortunately for North, there's still 40 seconds on the clock. That Saw, I think they're going to use every single one of those seconds on the board. And with 30 now left, the smoke does go down. Maybe that will force Cajun B out of position. The utility finally thrown into place, but there's AZ with another snappy headshot. Roman, this clutch just got a lot harder. Wants to scramble to get that bomb down and away, forcing out the peak initially, and only finding one kill for his troubles. But Lekro, he salvaged another M4. That bomb will finally not even get planted, and there's the double peak for North. What a heartbreaking round for Saw. This should have been 13-13, still on winning ways, an opportunity to try and close this one out, Flakes. But it's gone the other way. 14-12, North back with a full buy, and maybe a bye-bye. Straight down to the bottom bracket if North can take the next two.
A lot of that's on MSL as well, isn't it? He really opened up the round there, using the AWP where two key weapons carry forward into the round. It shows you what you can do when you're on a round where you only have a rifle and AWP and a bunch of pistols. It can still be won. This nade could be devastating too. We go deep down into the ramp as MSL strikes again. Takes down Stad as Gage gets ever so aggressive, looking for more.
They're not even going to check this angle here.
That's a disaster. Absolute disaster. I think at this point, you know, once MSL secures round 26 for them, from there it's going to be just a waterfall affair. North of 15. I'd be shocked if we don't see 16 here as well soon to follow.
That's been a bit of a promising T-side for Saw, all things considered. But considering North now have 3 opportunities at match point, closing this series out, not quite early, but Saw also don't really have a lot of money to work with. We see the double deagle come through, along with a couple of AK-47s on the board. Maybe back to a speedier approach as the flashes and smokes go down on this A-bomb site. Just one incendiary grenade there to halt the aggression. And North can easily get this rotate over the top. Gage, yes, he was just single-handedly holding this A-bomb site, but now he's got reinforcements. MSL and Cajun B are just knocking on the door of this A site, trying to stop Saw from coming in. Should be an easier round, all things considered. Even with a couple of smokes going down and away. A secondary avenue of approach taken by the AWP. This actually a boost over the top. It feels like MSL is doing everything on the CT side to try and close this best of one out and away. Don't even know if the C4 can go down. I guess Stad's going to try and tap the numbers in.
He does a really good job actually to get that through, to be honest. It does give the Portuguese side a chance to try and make this one stick, but obviously a key firepower disadvantage for them is people that are looking to use. I think I said while Blind takes down Just, and from there it all falls to pieces. Roman has a 1 versus 4. He needs to make work. It's not going to happen. North will win out this one 16-12, and ultimately moving forward to our upper bracket.